And Ducky, well, that never would work. Come on. It's ridiculous together. The original ending to Pretty in Pink is very different than the movie as it stands now. And you can actually find that there's a novelization of Pretty in Pink written at the time that had the original ending because it was written from the original script. And people would write to me saying, how come the book is so different than the movie? The original ending was Molly shows up at the prom, Ducky shows up at the prom, they come together and dance a moonlight dance together, thus, showing that their solidarity as friends would always be the most important thing in their lives, and that they're going to stick together, and despite all the rifts that had happened, that they have their pride and they'll show up at the prom and do their own thing.
Originally in the script, she goes to the prom with Ducky and sees Andrew McCarthy there, but she's with Ducky and their friends, and they dance. And everybody stood around and watched them dance.
Kind of good too. Well, shall we?
When we shot it, a bunch of things sort of conspired for it not to quite work. Molly became very ill that day, and we had
Excuse me.
My dance entailed a lot of spinning. That wasn't real good for her stomach.
Just the turning and turning and turning. We kept doing it over and over and over again. I just kept getting sicker and sicker and more dizzy, and yeah, it was definitely not very romantic.
So we'd be spinning, and she'd be looking at me like, and I was like, oh no, this is not going to end well. This would be a bad ending for the movie. Pretty in projectile vomit.
After we were turning and turning and turning, and then I think I just collapsed.
And everybody, we had to stop shooting for the day.
But that's really all I remember about doing it. I remember feeling it didn't work, and I remember just being really sick. I was supposed to end up with Ducky, and when Robert Downey Jr. was being considered for it, I thought he was adorable. I thought I thought he was cute. I was attracted to him. I'm making myself sound completely boy crazy, but I thought he was really, really cute, and it sort of made sense. I could end up with him at the end. I mean, once they cast John and we started working together, I thought there's no way that this ending is going to work. With John, not to say that John isn't cute, not to say that he isn't adorable, because he clearly is. I just didn't have that chemistry with him myself. That's not the relationship that we had. So it didn't really make sense when we went to shoot the ending of us ending up together. It just seemed completely bizarre. It seemed like I was ending up with my brother. And I think I told Howie that. And Howie still wanted to shoot the ending as written. So I think they really did want me to end up with the sort of underdog, goofy character.
Well, Molly never saw him as a love interest. She saw him as her best friend and somebody who would do anything for her, and she for him. But she didn't have those feelings for him. And you'd think that I would have seen that during the course of the movie. That would have been the first clue directorially that this is not going to work as an ending. But it didn't. I didn't get it. None of us got it.
I knew it. I knew it wasn't going to, and we filmed it. And I think they didn't really figure it out, the filmmakers, until they screened the film.
When we tested it, they loved the movie, and at the very last moment, when Molly wound up with Ducky, they booed. We realized then and there that the right thing to do was to wind up with the guy who truly loves you. But the girls in the audience didn't care about that. They wanted to get the cute guy. And so it was a big lesson for us, which is forget the politics. When a girl wants the cute guy, she's got to get the cute guy.
And we were devastated. I mean, we felt that we were selling out, that she shouldn't end up with a rich guy. And we met with the head of the studio, who was Ned Tannen, and Don Steele. And we finally realized that, we're making a movie for the audience. So we thought, okay, we'll shoot an alternative ending.
It was very, very tough. John rightfully took his time and figured out a way to give them what they wanted, but at the same time to keep the integrity of the story. But he had so many things going on. I was sitting there in his house every night going, could we work on this? But he was like, well, how am I supposed to do this so that the whole thing's geared toward true love? And then one day we were sitting in the editing room, and he went, I got it. It was just like that, the light bulb went. He says, what if Andrew comes to the prom alone? And he backtracked from there, and he had it in no time at all, and that was it. But, you know, it was my first movie. I had everything on the line. I had given up my business. I moved out here, and here it was. I had an ending that didn't work with a studio that was really anxious about that. And he had done everything a producer you could ask a producer to do. And here I was going, but I need a new ending. He did it. He came up with that ending.
And we brought everybody back, and we reshot the ending.
6 months later, I was in here in New York doing a play, and